B'Nai Brith wants to ban the keffiyeh, the Palestinian headscarf, in both Queen's Park and the House of Commons.
Sorry, let me just clean my glasses.
Sure.
Right.
And I'll just give you the pricey of things while you think.
Yeah.
So there's been the Speaker's letter at Queen's Park saying that the keffiyeh is a political statement, so therefore it shouldn't be worn. I believe the Premier walked it back. The new thing is that B'Nai Brith has come out and said it shouldn't be worn in the House of Commons and it shouldn't be worn in Queen's Park. So as a guy who has served both, and obviously with your background, I got to ask you, what do you think?
Sorry, I'm just...
No. You're all wet.
It's really wet outside.
Yeah.
Look, we live in a country of diversity and inclusion, and we work really hard to make sure that all of us get along. Part of that effort is to celebrate our differences, is to celebrate our tradition and our cultures. So when it comes to dresses and customs, they should be accepting in our democratic institutions. Of course, this is not about all has to be exercised in a way that is respectful to other people's as well. So I'm not, I can't speak to the decision that has been made at Queen's Park, but what we need to make sure that all our democratic institutions, and my hope will be that in House of Commons that is inclusive of everyone, all Canadians who wants to come and participate.
Do you think it should be allowed here, though? Do you think that we should follow suit?
In my view, it should be allowed. Again, we need to be respectful of everyone's cultures, and if it's part of their traditional attire, as we accept many other expressions of support and solidarity and cultures. That's what makes us as Canadians strong, and I really do strongly believe that our institutions, like our House of Commons, should be inclusive of all Canadians.
But it's not really this might not be a symbol of culture, it's more of a political symbol. So do you think that should be allowed in the House of Commons?
I think these are matters of interpretation. But we do in House of Commons engage in political debate. And we disagree on many things, but we do so in a respectful way. That is a cornerstone of a healthy democracy, and House of Commons or any legislative assembly should not be in any exception.
So in this case, it should be allowed?
In my view, it should be, because I think it really speaks to our democratic principles. It speaks to our diversity and the inclusive society that we all are working very hard to build. It's never easy work. It is challenging work, and we have to be mindful of that. But we need to create conditions of acceptance and understanding, not exclusion.
The Jewish organization B'Nai Brith wants to ban the keffiyeh, the Palestinian headscarf, from both Queen's Park and from the House of Commons. What do you think?
I think that that's not fair to ban these clothings. Which one are you going to ban? How are you going to pick and choose? I think it's a traditional dress people wear. Like, for example, we were wearing Ukraine's shirt, so they have embroidery. There's other Heritage Month we celebrate. So which one you'll pick and choose that this is allowed and this is not allowed? So in my opinion, that's banning these things. Getting into these things is not right. Thank you.
You may have noticed that the Speaker of the Ontario Legislature has banned keffiyehs. The Jewish lobby group B'Nai Brith is advocating for both keffiyehs to be removed from or not be worn in the House of Commons chamber and at Queen's Park. So as a man who has worn the keffiyeh,
Sure.
What do you think?
Well, I would say that the Speaker of the Ontario Legislature displays both his cultural incompetence and complete ignorance to the significance of the keffiyeh. You'll recall that at a time when the country was addressing the illegal invasion of Russia into Ukraine, politicians from coast to coast to coast wore cultural items in support of cultural communities. This is a precedent that has been set, and I would put to you that if you were to look in the Ontario Legislature, as here in the House of Commons, you would find multiple, hundreds and hundreds of instances of political representatives supporting communities by donning their cultural attire. And so to try to unilaterally, and I believe it was without without an actual point of order, without a proactive individual member of Parliament or the legislature raising the issue. To unilaterally take that position demonstrates just the complete cultural incompetence and, quite frankly, anti-Palestinian racism of the Speaker of that House. And, you know, as far as lobby groups, they can have whatever positions they want, but I can assure you in this House, I will defend the parliamentary privileges of MPs. I will defend the cultural significance and cultural symbols of the Palestinian people. I will continue the fight against anti-Palestinian racism, and I will not allow for any kind of conflations by anybody external to this House of Commons to interfere with my ability to do so.
And just to, I believe what you're saying is you, of course, have, to my knowledge, have no Palestinian heritage links, so therefore it is, you are being supportive, just like when you wear the Ukraine embroidered shirt.
On any given day of the week, there's a parliamentarian in this House standing up in solidarities with communities that they support. That is a parliamentary fact. It happens in statements. It happens in cultural significant days. And for people, as I say, to make that complaint, there would have to be an equal application of the procedural law. And I would put to you that the Speaker of the Legislature went beyond the bounds, at least from my perspective, of what a Speaker should do, given that there was no official complaint by a member of the provincial legislature. Now, here in the House, if a member had an issue with me wearing a keffiyeh, they would have to stand to do that. But I would put back to the Speaker that they would then have to review every instance within this term of Parliament where parliamentarians donned cultural attire in support of a particular community. And so this asymmetrical application and this external imposition onto our political spaces, notwithstanding the fact that this week we celebrated the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, things are supposed to be protected in law, but also the parliamentary procedures within the House of Commons, the privileges there. I think that these people have completely lost the plot. You know, we're talking about a situation right now that is highly sensitive, and to try to censor people, another community, in that way for donning their cultural attire is just absolutely explicitly anti-Palestinian racism.
Good to see you.
Do you plan to run for Liberal leader?
No, I plan to be a candidate in the next election under Prime Minister Trudeau's leadership. I'm very happy. I'm excited about that. I'm focused on the responsibilities he gave me. It's a big job. I'm enjoying it, and I'm optimistic that our team and the Prime Minister will make the case to Canadians as to why we should be re-elected.
Have you been having discussions, though, about a potential run in the near future?
I've answered that.
Do you think the Prime Minister should resign?